So what made you want to compete, and how did you determine that you were ready for competition? Because I believe you started only 3 months after the initial training. Is that right?
Yeah. So I started doing some general fitness with Azzy about September time, but I was still weightlifting at that time because I did a weightlifting competition in the December. And after Christmas, um, around February time, I started really getting more and more into MMA, and I started doing
Hmm.
just pure wrestling and boxing and jiu-jitsu and really getting into it and really enjoying it. I think I went to one of the evening classes because I had the evening off work, and Azzy was just like, oh, get in with all the other fighters and stuff like that. And we had some good lads fighting there. We had like little Jake Hinton, Connor Roach. And Jake Hinton's his first fight ever. He got matched with Mohammed McKeeve. You know who that
Oh
is.
wow, of
So
course. Yeah,
you know
he's
you know the sort of
23 and 0, isn't he?
yeah, yeah. And little Jake, he had so much talent that, and he got matched with Mohammed McKeeve. Like, they think that's a good fight. So, and I went into that class, and we were doing like loads of shark tanks and stuff. And I started taking everyone down, and people couldn't get me down. And as he was like, "You should fight," I was like,
See, natural.
"Really?" I
You
was like,
see?
"Really?" I didn't believe it at first, and then yeah, I just kept doing it. And I went to like an open mat event, and I was terrified because I had no idea what fighting was like, really. And I went to an open mat event, and then one of the local gyms was like, "Oh, does your lad want to fight my lad?" And I felt like I couldn't say no. I was like, I'm not scared, so I got to say yes. And then
Bring it on.
yeah, we had a fight 3 weeks, well, 3 months later.
Right. So, I mean, we've mentioned him a few times. How good is it having someone with the experience and know-how like Azzy Thomas as your head coach?
Uh, it's uh, you can't really put it into words how effective everything is. Like near enough every single fight that I've had, as he said to me, if you do this, you'll beat him, and he's not been wrong
Wow.
once. He's not been wrong once. Like, I
Wow.
think I fought I fought Gethin in Carnarvon. He said he said to me, he's going to get tired trying to take you down, and then you're going to finish him. And he literally was exactly right. He said the same
He
about
did.
Raphael. He said when I fought Raphael, he said Raphael is powerful, he's explosive, he's in great shape. But that sort of power doesn't transition into the later rounds. So he's going to wait, like let him tire himself out and then finish him in the third. And he's been right every time.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, his fight IQ is incredible. So like, and the more fights that he's just been right, the more confidence and belief that I have in everything that he says. Like, he could tell me to, do like a spinning wheel kick capoeira thingy and said it'll work, and I'll do it. I'll just keep doing it because I believe it works.
That's the kind of relationship you need to have with your head coach. One
Yeah,
that's just built on trust.
yeah, definitely. And I trust Azzy, and he's a he's a good role model, and he's been where I want to go. So
Yeah.
he knows the path that I
The
need to
journey.
take.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's very he's quite old school with like how he wants his fighters to be as well. Like, there's a lot of people now like to fight journeymen, and they're all fighting journeymen. And as he's like, no, like, we want you to have hard fights. You're not learning
Yeah.
nothing if you're not having hard fights.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's how
Yeah.
that's how he coaches us.
So the instructions that you receive from your corner, from the likes of Azzy, for example, they seem quite technical. First of all, how helpful is that? And secondly, how much of that do you actually hear?
Uh, it's weird because when you're in there, like, it feels like nothing going in, but like
That's what I
the
mean.
the
Yeah.
advice isn't always like super technical, because a lot of the technical stuff that we learn, it goes on in the gym, and a lot of the techniques and the things that he teaches us, we drill it over and over again. And he comes into the corner and he's like, remember what we were doing in the gym? Like, remember what we've been doing? Like, I want you to do this. I want you to do that. Remember the timing and everything. And then when we're warming up in the back, he's like, remember the timing on stuff like that. Like, when I fought Ollie, um, we were doing the timing for the right hand over and over again, because as he said, like he's like he leans back a bit too much, like he doesn't move his head off the line. So if you commit to a right hand down the middle, it's going to get him. And we drilled that a lot, and we were drilling it in the back just before the fight. And I didn't throw it so much in the first round, and then in the second round, he in the corner, he was like, cause I hit him with it in the first round, and I think that's what split his head. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't remember what split his head, but and then he was like that like, you know, commit and throw it down the middle, and you'll get him. And I did.
Brilliant. And how would you describe your fighting style?
I like to think I'm becoming more and more well rounded, Like I know I can strike. So I've shown that I can strike when I fought Ollie, but my wrestling, my ability to wrestle is, I think, where things are gonna start to. I know that I'll have to wrestle to
Hmm.
beat some people. Like I don't like to. No, I like being exciting. Like I want to excite people. Like I want to go out there and I want to try and punch his head clean off. Like I don't want to shoot a double in the first 30 seconds and then lie on him for the rest of the round. You know, I'd like to think I'm becoming more well-rounded, and I want to continue to develop all areas of my game.
Okay. How did you feel leading up to your first fight in 2018 with Joe Williamson? What did you learn about yourself during that process?
Um, I think the first one was more scary than anything, because you really don't know what's going to happen. Like you have no idea what's going to happen. It's like because you spar with all your friends and stuff in the gym, but you know no one's really trying to hurt you.
Yeah,
Like because obviously you're all mates and you all want each other to fight. So I was like, I had no idea what to expect. But and like I told my mum that I was fighting and stuff, and she was like, she's like, I'm not gonna come because like you're not a fighter. Like I don't want to see you get hurt. But I still believed that I could win, and that was probably the biggest thing that I learned. That like it doesn't matter what other people believe. Like it was what I believed, and I proved myself right pretty much. Like I managed to win when no one really even thought that I could fight or knew that I could fight. And Ozzy believed that I could win, obviously.
of
But
course.
none of my friends or family, like, they didn't want to come and watch because they thought I was just going to get hurt.
Of course. That's just natural, isn't it?
Yeah, if anyone says that they're not a little bit scared when they go to fight, then they're lying.
Agreed. And any advice you'd give to someone preparing for their first amateur fights?
Just believe in yourself. Like
Okay.
it sounds cliche, and it is cliche because that's what everybody says. But just don't listen to what anybody else says. Like as long as if you believe it, then it's gonna happen. Like it's gonna happen. Like that's all you can say. Just cliche advice. I've not got too much mass amounts of experience to give like too good of advice, but yeah, the belief in yourself is more important than what anyone else believes.
So you won that first fight in dominating fashion,
I
landing landing a number of takedowns. What do you remember about that fight?
I remember I'd maybe had 3 months of boxing, so I wasn't that great at boxing, and I remember I started doing some boxing and stuff. We jabbed each other a bit, and then he hit me with like a big right hand, and I was like, oh, bloody hell, like I mix up my games. Then I started throwing my hands, and I just started shooting behind it, and I just kept picking him up and like dumping him. Like it was just takedown after takedown, and then as he was like just keep doing that. Like I can't, I started to lose count of how many takedowns it was because it wasn't filmed. It wasn't filmed efficiently. I saw it back on like somebody's live video, and I think I counted into the double figures. I think it was like 12, 13 takedowns because I could take him down. He was all right off his back. He wasn't bad off his back, but putting him there was just easy. Like every
Hmm.
time I shot, I got him down. So I just take him down, and then as he was like, let him back up, let him back up. So then I'd throw like a little 1-2 or something, and I'd just shoot the double again. But I was picking him up and just like and slamming him on the floor like over and over again. And yeah, it was pretty much just that for the whole fight. And then I looking back now, I was like, I completely dominated the fight, and then it, like Harry was in my corner in my first fight. Harry came in and was like, "Oh, well done, lad." I was like, "Oh, do you think I won? Do you think I won?" Like looking back now, I obviously won, like, but I had no idea.
Of course not. And then in your second fight versus Cameron Cook, which you won by decision also, all three
Yeah,
rounds played out in a similar fashion in that he attempted a number of submissions off his back, coupled with some up kicks. But you looked completely relaxed, not in any kind of trouble, landing some nice hammer fists when the opportunity allowed. Is that how it felt for you? And was you worried at any point that the judges may hand the decision to him?
um, I wasn't worried that they were handing the decision to him, because like, as the way as he was teaching us and stuff, like he was like, if you just dominate the top position and keep punching their head in, then it's going to be your fight. And I can maybe remember one or two parts of the fight where I wasn't in the dominant position and I wasn't landing strikes. You know, Cameron's good. Cameron's very strong. He was hitting at them submissions well, and he had a very strong grip. But I was just a bit stronger than he was, so I managed to survive. Like I don't like to make excuses, but like I was quite tired during that fight. Like I messed up the weight cut completely. That because when I fought Joel, I didn't do a weight cut. We just met at like on the day weigh, and we just met at a weight. And I did an actual water cut to fight Cameron, and I completely botched it, and I felt terrible. I felt awful, and I couldn't spar for like 2 weeks before that, because I had a clash of heads with one of my sparring partners, and I broke my nose, so I
Oh my
couldn't spar
word.
for 2 weeks before I fought Cameron. But I just wanted to fight, so I was like, oh, I'll just fight. It'll be fine. And I'd never done a weight cut before, so as he said, um, he's like, right, get up on Thursday, because we're cutting weight on Thursday. He said, get up and have 3 liters of water before 10 o'clock, and he
Right.
told me that at like 10:15. So like I didn't have much time. I didn't have much time to drink anything. So
Wow.
like I barely drank anything for nearly like for well over 24 hours, because my last drink was like maybe Wednesday, and then I didn't really drink much on Thursday. I drank like maybe a pint of water on Thursday, then didn't drink until Friday morning. My weight cut went completely to pot, and yeah, I just felt like I just got tired like that, like, and so I was just taking him down, just dominating the position, because I didn't have anything left. I was knackered.
Okay. And how has subsequent weight cuts been?
Much better.
Much
Yeah,
better. Yeah.
I've I learned a lot from that cut, and I've just been perfecting the weight cut every time to make sure I'm feeling better and better every time. Like, and I recover properly, and I get back to my weight gets back to where it was before I started dehydrating and
I
all that
see.
stuff. It's all lessons to learn, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah, it really is. There's so much to learn and there's so much to take into account. And that's the reason why you need to have an experienced head coach as you do, like Azzy Thomas,
Yeah,
just providing you with that guidance because he's been there, done it, worn the
yeah.
t-shirt
On multiple
multiple
occasions,
occasions.
all around the world. I can't even remember
Absolutely.
how many how fights as he's had. I know he had in total. He's got to be around 70 fights, including boxing and mixed martial arts. He's done it a
Yeah.
lot.
He was meant to fight as recent as March at Market Mayhem. I believe that fight was
Yeah,
cancelled. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
So
of
he's
the
still
COVID.
competing now.
Yeah, he's he had a break for a few years. He had stuff to sort out and all that sort, and he had his business going and all that sort of stuff. And then yeah, he fought bare knuckle boxing last year, I think. Was it last? No, it was this year in January. This year January, he fought bare knuckle boxing in the O2 Arena in London, where the same venue that they have Cage Warriors, and we all went down to watch him, and it was huge. And as he hadn't fought for like 2 years, 3 years nearly. And he went in there against the guy that was on a 3 fight winning streak. And they went the distance. And as he was outboxing him for the first round, and then as he ended up losing the decision, which was unfortunate, but it's still like, it shows the caliber that Azzy is at, that he can have 3 years out and
Yeah.
he just got straight back in there with a guy
Yeah.
who's super talented, super good, and Azzy got straight back in there and was like, he won the first round. I think it may be 50-50 in the second round, maybe 50-50 in the third. So it really could have gone either way. Like, it really could have gone either way. So it was unfortunate he lost, but he's getting back into MMA now and he wants to do MMA again, which is terrifying for
Yeah.
the professionals.
So that fight versus Cameron Cook, that one was at Market
Market
Mayhem.
Mayhem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like fighting at those local shows, or do you feel those local shows bring an added pressure?
I don't think they bring any added pressure. Like,
Okay.
I enjoy, like, we have all the people from the gym all come down to watch, and
Yeah.
like when on the last Almighty that I fought on, like those same people pretty much all come to Almighty anyway.
That was in
But
Barnsley, right?
in Barnsley, yeah. So, and we had quite a few people come down because there was like six lads from our gym fighting on that show. So it was. I don't feel much different fighting in Carnarvon.
That's
It's
good.
kind of, Carnarvon's kind of not local to us. It is local to me compared to you, because obviously you're in London. But Cameron, I fought Cameron there and I fought Gethin there, and they're both Carnarvon
Yep.
lads, and they
Yep.
fight out of Chris Pritchard's gym, which is in Carnarvon. So we're kind of on enemy territory in Carnarvon. So it's kind of the same, because we're enemy territory in Barnsley as well.
You
So it's
was.
all there's no pressure, because I say, like, everyone wants me to lose because I'm fighting a local lad.
Fair enough. And then in your full fight, you mentioned at the outset you fought Raphael. Coming out for the second rounds, you came out full of energy, bouncing around more so than I would say in the first rounds. What was that due to?
Just getting a feel for him,
Right.
like seeing what he's like, and I didn't really throw my hands at all in that fight because I broke my thumb in the fight before, and I'd had an operation on it and everything, so I was like dead scared about breaking my thumb. But the first round, I was just kind of getting a feel for him, and like, used a lot of energy in the first round, a lot of energy, and he came out a lot slower, and so I just need, like, I was fresh as a daisy, like I felt great, like I was like, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
out there and just start trying to put it on him. But yeah, he was he's a good fighter, Raphael. He's a good fighter. I think he was the All Stars BJJ British champion. He's a talented guy, Raphael, and it did a lot for my confidence, being able to beat somebody like that, because that was my first experience on like a huge show in a big city, because that show was run by John Kavanagh, and it had a six-figure prize. The winner got a six-figure contract at Bellator of the main event. So it was crazy being on a really good show like that, and it was good to beat somebody of Raphael's caliber, because
Caliber.
he was
Yeah.
a debutee, but he's not really a debutee when he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion, and he was the NAGA European Junior champion as well, I believe. So it was good to beat somebody of that level.
Yeah. And what did you think the score was going into the third rounds?
We weren't sure. I had Harry in my corner again,
Yeah,
and
you did.
they came out and they just said, like, I can't call this, but he is knackered. He is tired. Like, you have to go out there and you have to dominate this round. You have to dominate this round. So I went out there. I just knew I had to put the pressure on. I knew I had the ability to take him down. So they said, go out there, take him down, and just beat him up, because I can't call it. This fight's too close.